Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that this is my mini-series in which I'm diving into a beautiful and expansive and rich deck called The Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. And if you are new here, let me tell you basically what is going on. I pull one card a day from the Tarot of the Holy Light. And I acknowledge that I have thoughts, I have feelings, I have history with decks of other systems from especially the Golden Dawn tradition, the Smith-Waite, RWS, the Harris Crowley, Thoth, and all of those iterations, the copies, the remakings, the redrawings, etc., etc. And the deck that I'm working with now is a different system. It predates the Golden Dawn. In fact, in a way, I mean, it's a newer deck. But the system that this deck is based on, the Tarot of the Holy Light is based on, is research into the esoterica and the traditions of the continental tarot system done by the creator, Christine Payne-Towler. So the Golden Dawn system and this continental tarot system, they're different. There are some parallels, but they are different. So what I do is I acknowledge the thoughts and the feelings and the memories that I have surrounding the card I pulled from my study of the other system, so that I could disengage them, so I can detangle them from what is presenting to me in the card that I'm looking at. And then to help me unpack the card as I see it, I pull 3 cards from an RWS deck called the Lightseer's Tarot, a very easy to read deck for me. And I do a 3-card spread. The first card is the significance, the second card is the obstacle, the third card is the advice for me for that day. And so then I live my day. And at the end of the day, I pull out the handy guidebook for the Tarot of the Holy Light, and I read the entry, and I see how that card meaning, as intended by the creator, has revealed itself for me, has manifested itself for me during the day, or not. And so, and then I filmed this video. So friends, let me tell you the card that I got for today. It was a card that excited me no end when I pulled it. Well, actually, I pulled it the night before. I'm doing this, I'm pulling it the night before, then I'm sleeping on it without looking at it, and then I reveal it the next morning. And so the card that revealed for me today was the Magus. Yeah, the Magus, otherwise known as the Magician in some decks. The first card number 1, I should say, of the Major Arcana. Some people put the Fool before the Magician, some people put the Fool at the end, some people put the Fool wherever they want to. So this is card number 1, always number 1, at least to my knowledge, the Magus, which is a card I love to see. It's one of my favorite cards of the deck, in all decks. But this one's very different, right? Instead of seeing the guy with the table with either like Tarot de Marseille, there might be dice, there might be a knife, there might be a cup, there might be other stuff. The mountebank, the street magician, or the more Golden Dawn deck where on the table there are one element, one of each of the 4 elements, yeah? A pentacle, a wand, a knife. Well, there's usually a pentacle, a sword, and a cup, and the mage is holding a wand. Instead, we got something very different here, right? We have a primal human male image with a very, very clearly visible, at least for me, can you see it? Above the Magus's head, there is a sunburst, and there should be a Mercury in there somewhere. I'm not seeing it now. Oh yes, it's in red. Yes, it's easier to see when it's in black and white. But can you see there's a Mercury symbol right up here. Believe me. And that's reflected in the 2 Cardusiuses in both hands of the Magus. And you'll see that the sun is down there right near the root chakra. And we see this red down here at the bottom. There's a lot. This is an air card, by the way. If you can see here, this is the symbol for air. The Magus is air, but there's all this fire here. There's fire here. There's this red here. I notice a lot of fire in this card. And so we got the sun, we got the moon, we got the full zodiac, we got all the planets, all there's all of the astrological and astral and metaphysical power is right there behind the Magus, which is wonderful. The Magus is crowned, has wings, it's beautiful. And so I pulled what I thought was, well, okay, so we don't have the four elements clearly represented on the table, which we don't really need. This Magus actually seems more powerful in many ways to me. And so what I did was I pulled the three cards from the Light Years Tarot. Let me show you those cards right now. Interesting cards, right? A lot of water and one pentacle in the center. So we got the Three of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. And so what did I think around this Magus, this power-wielding beginning, but power-wielding being, the magician? So the Three of Cups. Now, it's interesting that in this one, we have three very different figures facing the Big Dipper. Yeah? But three very different figures, but we see them from the back. They're perhaps moving in a direction. They're moving towards perhaps the stars together and sharing emotion. They're definitely sharing emotion. And we see the Triskalia on the back of this one figure. I don't know, can you see that? The Triskalia? So we've got these three figures moving in the direction of the stars, very, very watery, but also kind of celestial at the same time. So collaboration was the first thing that came to my mind, of course, collaboration, but enjoying the work, the being together, sharing, all of that. Then the obstacle was the Ace of Pentacles. Now, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cup discs, as an obstacle, could be a couple of things. It could be missing the opportunity. It could be a poor choice of opportunities, something that it's an opportunity that will lead you down a trail that you don't want to go in. It could also be a distraction. And I took that as a distraction for me today, that the ace, this opportunity, could be a distraction from doing this work of this, if that makes sense. And so the advice is, which I often get the Nine of Cups as advice. Just be satisfied and happy with what is. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the day. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy what you are doing. Enjoy who you are being. And especially with these two cups. Now, color-wise, this was also very interesting, right? This cups card is the lavenderish purple, beautiful color. But this one is golden yellow, which kind of reflected this color to me. Yeah? So, I don't know, instead of doing this, do this. Instead of grabbing onto a new opportunity, a new possibility, the shiny new thing, enjoy more what you already have. Be happier with what you have. And so that was my mantra for the day. Nine of Cups. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy what you have. And it was interesting because, well, I'll tell you what I did during the day. I didn't do all that much, but I'll tell you what I did during the day in just a moment. Then at the end of the day, just a little while ago, I read the entry for the Magus in the guidebook. Let me read you some but not all, because really this card is cram-packed with stuff. If we think about it though, that may make sense, right? This is the initiation of a very esoteric deck, of a very esoteric portion of a very esoteric deck. And so there's a lot of information, a lot of meaning packed into this and into this as well. So I'm not going to read you all of it. I'm going to try and select highlights that seemed very meaningful for me for today. The Magus represents the imagination, sight of one's genius and uniqueness. This is the communicating intelligence. Gitchel's life spirit, which employs planetary cycles to knit our random experiences into a coherent narrative of the self. Yeah? We knit cycles into a coherent narrative of the self. That was the point. Around him shimmers the energetic architecture of the higher planes toward which he is constantly striving. Yeah? The Magus is constantly striving for the celestial and the astral planes. In the Sophianic mysteries, this is the scribe or aspirant to initiation who is coming awake to his true nature and seeks a path of return. He could also be viewed as the Christos, male half of the Christ-Sophia pair, who are each sent to redeem the world at different stages of the cosmic drama. So in this theosophical discussion, now there's the Christ, which comes to save the world, and there's also the Sophia, which comes to save the world. And Sophia is often one representation of the Holy Spirit for a Roman Catholic. But Sophia, wisdom, Lady Wisdom. Also Anima Mundi is often an iteration of Sophia. Okay, moving on. The Magus, which advises to put oneself at cause, claiming the spiritual inheritance of a soul made in the image of God. I'm sorry, I skipped a bit. Let me try that again. The Magus advises, no, that was right, advises to put oneself at cause, claiming the spiritual inheritance of a soul made in the image of God. Yeah, claiming your divinity as the eternal nature that we are, co-creating these bodies and having a human experience. Thus, armed with the tools of tradition, the soul of the Magus penetrates matter to arouse its latent potentials. Here we get that Magus, perhaps the Magus that we're used to from the Golden Dawn decks. He pledges to devote all the energies of his lower Sephiroth to the actualization of his upper Sephiroth. The awakened individual draws up from the animal elemental self the resources needed to evolve towards eternal being. So, like I said, all of this fire, all this passion going on, yeah, drawing up from this into this, yeah. Because we're starting off as this beginning with these human manifested beings with this heavy root, strong root chakra, and we want to draw that energy up into the more celestial chakra. Is the more celestial Sephiroth. It's the rising back up the tree of life. If I'm making any sense to any of you. Now, where were we? Going on. Our Magus intends to become something more than just another body in the herd. He desires to evolve into a power center, a vortex of will, intention, focus, and drive, one who will assist the penetration of spirit through matter. Now, assist the penetration of spirit through matter. This isn't someone working separate away from the will of the divine. This is one working the will of the divine through matter, working spirit through matter as the Magus, if that makes sense. There's one more thing I wanted to read here. Aleph. Now the letter for this card is Aleph. Now the little one. No, not the little one. The one that's shaped kind of like an N. represents the very first stroke Creator made to define the realm where creation could come to be. Yeah? Aleph represents the very first stroke Creator made to define the realm where creation could be. And that Aleph is centered right here in the heart, which is important when I go back and talk about my day. Because today, what did I do? I started reading in another book, not this one, a book by Eliphas Levi, the Doctrine and Ritual book by Eliphas Levi, and right now the title is, the complete title, the Doctrine and Ritual of Magic, I think, I'll put the title here, right here. I'll put the title. I'm reading that book. I had started reading that book, and guess what I was reading today? The first thing I read today was the Magus, the first chapter, the first full chapter after the introduction. So that was kind of cool. And I took some notes for this video out of that because I can't summarize that whole thing. The Magus in that book is one who has 4 qualities, especially intelligence, makes sense, audacity, the audacity to do the work, the will to do the work, and discretion, ability to keep silent. Clearly, I lack that right now. But silence. And I trust that people who would not get anything out of this would already have turned this video off. So the 4 qualities of a good magus are things that I would, I think, reach for. Another thing out of that chapter is the importance of, or understanding the difference between and the supremacy of the pleasure of love over the love of pleasure. Do you understand those differences? Yeah? Love over pleasure. The pleasure of love over the love of pleasure. That's what a magus wants to learn, wants to know. Also, imagination is the instrument that the magus wields, because imagination, it is imagination that balances matter, and things that are created in imagination are created in matter. And the Aleph is in the center of that, is one way of thinking about that. And so I was reading about all of that. And remember this opportunity thing? This opportunity thing might have been a very interesting opportunity of somebody contacting me out of nowhere, not a financial opportunity, but a romantic opportunity, perhaps not a romantic, perhaps something less less romantic and more something else, but still, just potential distraction. So rather than getting invested in that distraction, I enjoyed the brief chatting that we did throughout the day, but I didn't invest in that. And instead, I invested in what I already know I have. One potential person that I'm interested in. I spent more energy, more focus, more mind, more heart in the appreciation of that. And that led to some interesting magic today. I've noticed some development there today, which could be partially this. But then, as I was reviewing this card, the significance of this card changed for me. Here I am waving in front of your face. The significance of this card changed for me today. It changed for me just moments ago. Into what? It changed into, who are these 3 people? What are they actually people? And I think one of them is people. One of them is me. And I think one of them might be Alistair Levy, Eliphas Levi. And one of them may be Christine Payne-Towler in a specific way. I think that collaboration for me today was this deck, that book I was reading, and me in collaboration, moving in a direction. And I think it's this, that the magician is, the magus is the initiate. And today I think I recognized my initiateness in my journey with this deck to where I'm not exactly sure. But it's the beginning of a journey, an initiate's awakening to being on the path. I think that's what it is. And I think this collaboration is true, that the collaboration is me, the deck, and the book. And that opportunity, while interesting, could have been much greater distraction. And instead of going with that, I was satisfied with what I was doing, with who I was doing it with. And one of the people I'm not doing it with, that came out really, really graphically incorrect. I'm not doing anything with this other person, but we're developing a rapport, let's say. And that development moved into something a little bit more, a little deeper, a little more real, perhaps. Okay, so that's that. That's it. That's today's video. What do you think? Let me know. Friends, if you're still here, hit the thumbs up button so that Facebook knows that you enjoyed it and other people might enjoy it as well. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so that you know when I upload videos. I try to do one a week, and I will continue doing that until the end of the week after next, until the penultimate week of August, when I will have to go back to school and start teaching classes and focus on other things and reduce my video probably to about 2 a week as I used to do. And comment below. I would really love to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think of this magus? Do I look like a magus? And if you're interested in a private reading, I have my email address below. Shoot me an email. It's a very easy thing. Say you want a reading and we'll work it out. So friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.